morning, everybody. My name is Darlene, and I have Parkinson's. I just thought I'd tell you a little bit about what we did today. What did we do? We went to the lab first thing this morning and got my blood work done. Then we went and picked up a few groceries. We didn't buy very many groceries. We just had a few things on our list. Mind you, our few things came to $121, I've been told, so it doesn't take long to gather it up. But we had got quite a few bottles of pop and whatnot, and things like that added up quick. So we didn't buy any meat. We just bought things to fill in. So that's what we did there. And then Claudine had a slow pot on chicken. She was making chicken spaghetti. And so that was delicious. We just finished dinner and it was very good. It really was nice. Anyway, so it was my first time to ride in the car. It's I shouldn't call it a car because it's not a car. It's a Jeep, and you're up higher than what you would be in a car. Like our little car, we were sitting down low to the ground. So this was our first time to kind of experience how it was going to be to take me in this vehicle. And I have to say, you have to climb up a little bit to get into it, and we had to figure out, Claudine at home, first time I was getting in, she drove very close to the curb, so I was sort of standing a little higher than where the tires of the vehicle were, so that brought it down lower. But when we went to park at the lab, we had forgotten to put the handicap placard in the car, so we didn't have a handicap placard to get a wider space, and it was a very busy parking lot. So we found a spot that said for mothers with young children, and we thought that if anybody complained about us, we'd explain that, you know, like, I'm in a wheelchair and we had to have that spot to be closer to the door. But what it isn't is they don't make those any wider. So there was no car beside us when we pulled in. We got me out, no problem. And then when we came back to go to the car, or Jeep, when we came back to get in, there was a car parked there. So Claudine had to go ahead of me and bring me up as close as we could. And then we didn't have anywhere to make me step up higher. And we had to rely on Claudine to get me in, which she did, no problem. She got me in, no problem. And then the brake on my wheelchair broke again. I am not impressed. I don't know why these brakes are breaking. The cheap one we had bought for $500, cheap being a loose term because $500 is a lot of money, but that we bought then last September didn't last very long, so the brake was gone. We got this one in, I think, February, so it's not even a year old, and it broke. And yes, they'll fix it, but it's inconvenient. If you have only one brake, you have to be very careful when you're standing up because your chair will turn on you, and so that's going to be an inconvenience until we can get it fixed. And I'm not sure when that's going to be, but we'll have to try and fit it in somewhere. Anyway, I've got my lumbar puncture on the 23rd, so that's going to be coming up before we know it. And the other thing that kind of crossed my mind, I was thinking about when we saw a couple of naughty children when we were out, and when it's happening to you, it's not funny, but when it's happening to somebody else, you can see the humor in the situation as they're kind of, you know, pleading with their child in a soft voice to, you know, behave. Anyway, it brought to my mind one day when Claudine was very little, and it was when I was married to my first husband, and we had an entranceway in our house that had two doors. So you could come in the front into this little foyer, or you could come in the side to the same little foyer. And so anyway, to this day, I don't remember what Claudine had done. But I was standing by the front door, and Michael was standing by the back door, and Claudine was just sort of somewhere in the middle at the entryway to the house, and she was getting in trouble. And I said something to her about what she had done, and then Michael said something, and I said something, and then Michael said something. And she's little heads just going like this back and forth between us. And then she all of a sudden she puts her hands up and she goes, hold it. One at a time, please. Well, that was the end of her getting in trouble, because we just respectively turned and walked out our own doors and let her follow us, because it was the funniest thing in the world to see this little one going, one at a time, please. Anyway, so I thought that was pretty funny. And then we also had a little code word Claudine and I when she was young. And if she was doing something she shouldn't do when we were out in public, I would say to her, do you want to come to the bathroom for a chat? And she'd go, no chats, Mom, no chats. And it was because if we chatted, I didn't do much talking and we were going to get a little spanking. So she knew that she didn't want to go to the bathroom with me because she would get a spanking for whatever she was doing wrong. And so no chats, no chats. I just thought it was funny because she was a very good child. She didn't give me a lot of hard times, but when she got in trouble, that was the kind of thing she said, and I just laughed about it. Anyway, that's probably one of my days. And Bill had daycare today, so he was at daycare. And what did you say? You learned a game or something?
Yeah, frisbee toss.
Oh, he was playing a game called frisbee toss. So I don't know how that's played, but he was explaining it to me, and I think he had a good time, so that's good. Anyway, we also, on Claudine's vehicle, found out that the wheelchair is quite heavy, and that's quite a high up height. So we're having to try to find how we're going to actually put the wheelchair in, so because Claudine's hernia, her abdomen is split apart by a great distance. So therefore it hurts. She's not supposed to be lifting anything more than 5 pounds, and here she is heaving me into a vehicle and helping me up and down sometimes, and taking this heavy wheelchair in and out. And she is going to do damage to herself that is irreparable. So we have to try and get her. She says she doesn't know how she's even going to have surgery, because even if they said they'd do it, she's so afraid of it not taking, because it's a very hard surgery on her. And like they split you almost in half with their incision, and then they try to pull it together. And if you don't have enough skin, it doesn't stay pulled together. Next thing you know, your bowels are on the outside of your abdomen, and we can feel, like, we put our hands on, first of all, she looks pregnant even though she's lost 40-some pounds. And if we put our hands on her abdomen, we can feel the movement of either intestines or bowels, you know, with pushing things along. That's not normal. And so we really have to hope that she has an ultrasound this week. She hasn't made that appointment yet, so she has to get over there and do that. And that's the first step. Anyway, I'm going to leave it at that for today. And tomorrow is, it's tomorrow. Is today Monday or Tuesday? Tuesday, right, Bill?
Yeah.
So tomorrow's Wednesday. I don't think we're doing too much on Wednesday. Bill may possibly go to get his feet done, but we'll see. All right, okay, we're going to talk to you all tomorrow, and have yourself a good day. Bye-bye.